welcome to the DesignWell podcast. Did you know that nearly 80% of all manufactured furniture ended up in a landfill in 2017? How about that globally, an estimated 92 million tons of textile waste is created each year? For many in the design industry, these statistics are the unfortunate reality of how wasteful the practice has become, and my guest today shares a very similar opinion. Laurence Carr is a designer, entrepreneur, and is the CEO of Laurence Carr Incorporated, a New York-based design studio where she stands as an advocate for sustainability as well as health and wellness in the built environment. She is also the creator, executive producer, and host of Shay Lawrence, an EarthX TV original series highlighting circularity in the furnishings industry. So join us as the two of us talk about the current state of sustainability with the design industry, the circular economy, and how designers looking to adopt and grow a more sustainable practice can get started today.
Thank you for tuning in. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit the like button on your way out, and also subscribe to DesignWell's YouTube channel and hit the bell icon if you want to stay informed of any new updates. Alternatively, you can find any of our podcasts over on Apple or Spotify and leave a review there.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nick Bover, editor of DesignWell 365, and welcome to the DesignWell podcast. Today, I have with me Laurence Carr, a designer who has made quite the name for herself in the realm of wellness and sustainability, where others have mostly dabbled in it. So before we launch into our interview today, I'll give Laurence a chance to introduce herself.
Hello, Nicholas. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. So yes, my name is Laurence Carr. I'm the CEO and founder of Laurence Carr Inc., an award-winning New York City-based design firm specializing in regenerative and sustainable interiors that promote health and wellness in residential and commercial interiors. I am also a passionate advocate for the circular economy and work to educate people within the industry and among consumers about the importance of circularity. And I do this via my EarthX TV original series, Chez Laurence, my services as an ambassador for the Sustainable Furnishing Council, my work as an interior designer and product designer, and as an expert on trade shows, panels, and podcasts like this one.
Well, I'm glad I could definitely help spread the word on it, because the circular economy is definitely something that I just got back from KBIS recently, and it's definitely something that a lot of people seem to be talking about now. But as you mentioned, you have the wellness and sustainability angle in your business, but I figured today we can definitely talk more about sustainability. So I was kind of curious because, reading back through some of the interviews that you've done previously, you once said that your introduction to wellness came from this passion of meditation and spirituality. And I was wondering if your introduction to sustainability had sort of like a similar colorful story behind it.
What a great question. Yes, as a European, sustainability has always been prominent in my upbringing, in one way or another. I'm French, as you can hear, and we always, heard about sustainability, for years as I grew up and as, some pressing issues became clear. I've always been mindful about where my food comes from as well, we always eat fresh ingredients from, my grandmother's garden, and then, we go to farmers markets, and we're very connected to nature. It's just it was part of my upbringing, and once I was in the interior design industry as a professional. And that happened, later. I was stunned to learn how much of our industry contributes to waste. That was, quite staggering. So, for example, the built environment contributes to about 40% for carbon emissions on the planet. And as we have heard in the past, according to the EPA, we see that furniture waste generated by Americans in 2017 totaled a staggering 12.2 million tons, and that number is much higher now, and about 80.2% of this amount went to landfill. And then the same goes for textile. Textiles in 2018, 11.3 million tons of textile went to landfill waste. So when you see this, you just wonder, what can I do? The other thing that, in relation to the wellness, in relation to sustainability, to answer your question, the 275 billion wellness related market and building for human health are key agenda topics for ESGs. We talk about this in a multi-trillion-dollar global wellness economy. A key topic is the powerful connection between the built environment and our physical and mental health, and the many directions that the building well trend is now taking. So we have, like post-pandemic, with this post-pandemic, era, there's a sharp sense of urgency. I mean, more people are demanding that, their places, we see that with our clients, we see that with, our colleagues, more people want places where they live and work to be built to foster physical, mental, and social well-being. And projects around the globe are really truly being reimagined with human health and wellness at their core. So, we really truly see that human wellness does not exist in a microcosm. And so this information that I just shared, some of it, and the notable gap in the industry's prioritization of sustainability is what inspired me to start my own firm with sustainability as a hallmark of our mission.
And so how do you see sustainability kind of fitting into wellness design? Do you see these as two things that stand separate or two things that are very closely intertwined with one another?
Truly, the health of people and of our planet are inextricably linked. If we don't tend to one, we lose the other. And we spend the majority of time indoors. Think of it this way. If we are what we eat, then we also are what we surround ourselves with. Toxins enter our bodies through the air we breathe, the surfaces we touch, and the materials we clothe ourselves in, and the materials and furnishings we surround ourselves with. So if we're not mindful of sustainability in all areas of our lives, the effects leach into us and disrupt our physical and mental well-being. I really truly think that sustainability ensures that we use healthy materials that support human well-being as well as environmental wellness. And this ensures the systems by which we design and build environments for humans and also protect the environment outdoors.
Yeah, I think this is something that's definitely a lot of consumers have kind of started to do at their own levels in a lot of ways. You kind of see that a lot with the different antiquings that a lot of people will do. That's kind of become very popular in post-pandemic design, especially among members of my generation, where you have so many different benefits that come from it. You have all of these for pieces of furniture that are getting reused that otherwise, like you said, would have gotten probably thrown away, put into landfills. But just from like a wellness standpoint, when you are reusing these products like that, there's very distinct like benefits to health as well, where new products generally off-gas the most within, I think it's about like 2 years of first being acquired. But you don't really have that problem with antiques because all of the off-gassing has already been done, barring that they've been in use for like 2 years. So do you think this is becoming, I mean, obviously we just mentioned that, consumers are kind of latching on to this idea a lot with their own sort of DIY approaches to it. But do you think this is becoming a more practiced idea within the industry than when you first started, this idea of upcycling and recycling with materials?
Yes, I do think it becomes really a topic at the forefront of everybody's mind. There is so much waste. About 23% of the national waste stream is estimated to be construction and demolition waste. So, and then to give even more numbers, the annual construction waste is expected to reach about 2.2 billion tons globally by 2025. So what do we do about all of that waste? We have to address this, and therefore, if we are aware of what goes to the landfill and what goes to waste, it starts with what we do on a daily basis and how much can we address that. For us as designers, specifiers, it is our duty to be part of a solution. But for any consumer, and we are all consumer, with whether we're in the trade or not, is that how do we consume? Can we reuse, especially when we start, renovations or new projects of any kind, residential, commercial. What can we reuse that's already there? What can avoid going to waste? So yes, that's very important. And this antiquing or really thinking about maybe also proposing more as a business proposal, rental furniture is very important. I think there are more and more business emerging in the furnishings industry. I mean, IKEA is a leader in that, worldwide, but there are more and more businesses in the US, West Coast, East Coast. We saw that, the last 2 years emerging and really proposing, to have these rental furniture. I think that's great. That's less that goes in the waste. So yes, antiquing is phenomenal. I'm an art collector and an antique collector. So yes, it's a great passion. There's historical culture that goes with antiquing, but there's also, avoiding waste and no chemicals, or at least, a reduced amount after so many years.
Now, when you're talking to your clients about this, how do you generally go about it? Because I feel like there's still this sort of stigma among a lot of people that you say recycled or upcycled, and there's that concept of it being pre-used, and there's still that desire to want to have something new. So I'm kind of curious as to how your clients react to the idea of potentially getting like a reused piece of furniture or like a recycled piece of furniture.
So, so I just want to explain, that, sustainability is not enough. We really explain circularity and how it takes sustainability a step further, by seeking to design waste out of manufacturing processes, creating multiple life cycles, for our precious resources, keeping junk out of the landfill and carbon emissions out of our atmosphere. And we truly explain that it's the best we can do to reduce and even reverse the impact of our industry, that impact that our industry has on climate change. Now, the way we never stop talking about sustainability and circularity with our clients. It's part of why they seek us out for. And as a key part of our mission is to not just create a space and say, hey, enjoy, but rather create a space, explain why it's sustainable, why that matters, and give them actionable ways to really continue embracing sustainability in their lifestyle as well. And as I mentioned before, I think, for clients, knowing that they live in a healthy environment, they really are curious to talk about, what is sustainability, what is circularity. So we truly explain, the supply, despite the supply chain issue, we really explain, where a product was sourced, how it was made, what is inside that product that we are offering or the client is purchasing, and how it can be used. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, so it kind of just sounds like education plays a big role in a lot of these conversations, whether the client is new to the idea of circularity, or even if they're very familiar with the idea of circularity, just being able to kind of keep them informed of what products kind of adhere to that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's becoming, a more practiced idea within the industries, the industry, and also, with clients. I'm truly encouraged by the attention being given to, sustainability and circular design, really in architecture, interiors, and furnishings, as well as, clients. They truly are actually really interested, and really making informed steps to make decisions. So it truly is. It is an educational conversation, but on both sides. It's not like clients are not aware; they are aware.
So when it comes down to sustainability, that's kind of in the beginning, at the very least. I'll say in the beginning, when this first started getting talked about, it was mostly associated with a higher price tag. And I feel like that stigma has latched on up until this point. But, in most cases, at least from what I've seen, even if there is a higher price tag when it comes to a sustainable product, it's not too far off from the main product. But with all that being said, the only reason I bring up, money is because it's kind of the dirty thing that nobody likes to talk about within the industry, but also everybody kind of really needs to talk about within the industry. Have you noticed at all if, I guess what I want to say is that higher price point, if it shows up, is that a concern to clients nowadays? Or do you find that they're more willing to pay a little bit extra for that sustainability element in their home?
Yes, no, that's very important to talk about this topic. The younger generations seem much more willing to view sustainable design as an investment in their future and the future of the planet. And I'm talking mainly about millennials and Generation Z. Generation Z are super educated, and they have a computer in their palm, in the hand of their palm, and they really know. No, I meant, and they really know what to expect and how to educate themselves. I mean, they're over the fast furniture craze and interested in home quality pieces crafted with healthy materials that can stand the test of time. It's incredible, that young generation, and same with millennials. But other clients, I'd say other generations are truly interested in different price points. I think you have to be aware of, as a designer, architects and builders and all different specifiers, to be ready to offer different price point, but just really truly keep educating and explaining that sometimes, it might be a little bit more expensive, and sometimes it is not, as you mentioned, Nicholas. Sometimes it's not anymore, and our core clients understand you get what you pay for, and are willing to pay higher prices for the peace of mind in knowing their interiors are healthy, safe, and sustainable. That aspect, the peace of mind, often it takes over the higher price tag decision.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that, at least from what I've been reading about a lot, it's kind of the case across the board that it does seem like people are definitely more willing to shell out some extra money in order to make that investment in their future. And I can even say that, kind of stepping outside of the realm of sustainable furniture, like we've been talking about, just talking about more sustainable home systems, creating more sustainable homes. Yes, it does kind of start off with a higher price point than the average home, but over time, it's those savings that you get from that home system that ultimately kind of pays for itself in the end. And I feel like that's somewhat of a similar thing with when you're doing the recycling, the upcycling, the refurbished products. So long as you're looking for a product that can last, that product is going to be with you for a while. I can even say with my chair that I'm sitting in right now, it's a refurbished office chair that is, the expectation is that it's going to last for 20 years. And in all honesty, when it comes to a chair like that, 20 years sounds amazing to me. That's 20 years I don't have to pay for another chair.
That's right. You're absolutely right. That's so important to mention that. I mean, it's the investment, your ROI is really worth it. You put like a certain budget, within a product or a home, you build and you have built and purchased, and the return is fantastic. You buy quality over quantity. That's still something that is valid, and especially in sustainability and circularity.
Yeah. So for designers that are looking to enter into this, enter into the circular economy, we talked about it being a matter of education in the beginning, and I think it is definitely a matter of education, no matter what way you look at it. If you're trying to find these products that are more certain, that have that circular design to them, or they're just more sustainable in general, where would you advise for designers looking to grow out their business to start looking to find these products, or to just educate themselves more on this, I guess this category of sustainability?
Yes, absolutely. I would say, shop with brands that use third-party certifications that hold them to high production standards, such as Forest Stewardship Council, Ecotex, the Sustainable Furnishing Council, Fair Trade, GOTS. There are so many third-party certifications, but just learn what they each mean, and then look for those brands. Demand transparency, truly, and when I say that, from companies about how their products are made and what they're made from. Look on their website. Do they have a sustainable pledge, sustainability commitment? They should all, most of them should have a page about that, and read about it, and see if it really, provide transparency about where the product comes from, how it's made. What it's made of is a key question. Always ask that. Vote with your dollars by supporting companies with transparent processes and certifications. This probably answers our previous conversation, Nicholas. Small steps. You don't have to fix everything right away. A cheaper way at replacing one thing after another. Do the best you can with what you have, and keep striving for better over time. That's probably, for a consumer point of view, but also for designers when you design, for clients who are interested in sustainability. For designers, particularly looking to adopt circularity in their practice, I would say learn about it. You have to be able to understand circularity and speak with expertise on this in order to best convey to clients the importance of these practices. You have the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and many different organizations where you can learn about circularity, the circular economy. There's so much information out there right now. It's really taking off worldwide. Next, very similar, to consumers, source from certified vendors, demand transparency, vote with your dollars. Find ways to embrace circularity, not only in your own firm, but also, in your conversations with your clients and your different different colleagues and trade.
And so for designers that are working towards this, you had mentioned earlier this idea that, it doesn't have to happen all at once. You don't need to look at an entire home and say, we need to replace everything that's in here. And so I was kind of curious, when it comes down to figuring out where to start, and kind of sticking in line with the idea of, designers kind of being educators in their own right when it comes to the circular economy. Where would be a good, what would you advise for some of these designers? What would be some best practices to start introducing these sustainable elements into the home?
Oh, you mean when designers are having projects and
Yeah.
how they can apply those? So yes, I was at KBC, I guess, like you last week, and I was on the panel with Steve Feldman, who runs Renovation Angel, a fantastic company that helps recycling kitchen, nationwide. So if there is a renovation and you're doing, a new design in there, a new interior design. Just recycle kitchen, recycle the entire kitchen. Call Renovation Angel; they're fantastic. And bathrooms, cabinets and faucets, and some of the plumbing. So again, it's really about avoiding as much waste as possible. Once you understand the architectural bone of a residence, or a commercial space, just try to see what can be kept. There's beauty in some, architectural elements and other, and practicality, in really keeping what is there and what can be, upcycled there. Not everything needs to be just brand new and covered with brand new and surrounded with brand new furniture. So some of those are there, and so it's about, embracing sustainability is about reducing waste, and circularity is about, aiming towards zero waste, and shrink your carbon footprint. What else can you do to reduce the carbon emissions? What furnishings can you go and look for? What textiles? What paint, what flooring can you use to just reduce that carbon footprint? So again, it goes back to what it's made of, of these repurpose, of these upcycled materials, and also do not hesitate to look into biofabricated materials. They're phenomenal new developments right there.
And that actually brings up a good point, just the idea of the other end of the process, I guess, talking about, introducing that idea of circularity and sustainability in the actual design, in the actual renovation process, so that you're not just, it's one thing to be kind of like taking the products out of that, out of the circular economy, but it's the circular economy, so you got to feed back into it. And that makes a great point of, just kind of the simplest way to start off is that the next time you have a renovation or the next time you're working on a remodel, just, find an organization that is capable of recycling whatever you don't want to keep in that remodel. And I think that's probably, the simplest way to start off, I guess, when it comes down to this.
That's right. Yes. Yes. So you really try to work as much as possible with, companies, like Renovation Angel and other companies that will help you recycle that waste and upcycle it.
Now we're actually kind of closing in on the end of our time, and I had a couple more questions, but I think I'm going to have to cut them back before we head out. But for the one that I do want to really ask is, for somebody at the top of our talk, I had mentioned that you were a designer that had really made a career for themselves out of wellness and sustainability, which is something that is generally unheard of in a lot of cases, because most of the time you'll have designers that focus on design, but then they'll also dabble in wellness and sustainability. But you have made an entire career out of it. You have a series on EarthX TV that dives deep into this idea of circularity and sustainability. And while I'd love to talk about that a little bit more, the question that I have is, what kind of guidance would you give for somebody who is looking to grow their own business in these categories of wellness and sustainability?
Oh, thank you, Nicholas. Yes, thank you for mentioning my FX TV series, Laurence. We filmed season 1 last year, and season 2 is coming out this year, and it's all about circularity in design, and really I think the conversation there really is very educative about the circular economy and circularity in the built environment and furnishings. I would say for those who want to grow their practice with principles, don't wait. Sustainability and circularity may seem like, a fringe interest for, still some people, but they are the standard. In 2022, they are the standard. Climate change is only going to become a bigger challenge and hotter topic. ESGs are at the core of the focus of main companies. So, to get ahead now and show other industries how much positive impact we can all make with these small changes in how we approach our work and the world around us. This is what I suggest. I suggest, join local, national, or international organizations that offer support for either individuals or businesses, that are interested in more sustainable and circular practices. You have a Sustainable Furnishing Council here in the US, for whom I'm a very proud ambassador. It's a great way to start. You fill out a pledge that actually makes you revisit your sustainable practices. And then you learn and see many peers, in the industry of furnishings industry, interior design industry, and can learn so much from each other. The Sustainable Furnishing Council offers working groups online. They are free to join, and as if you're a member, and it's phenomenal knowledge sharing. If not, pursue professional certification that will help bolster your knowledge and keep you on the cutting edge of what's possible. Phenomenal online education opportunities. The International Well Building Institute, offer this phenomenal well accredited professional certification. So that's phenomenal. You have the International Living Future, phenomenal national organization that can also have you get a Living Future accredited certification. There is the New School, Parsons, the New School in New York City. You don't need to go to, attend in person. Online, you can get the Healthy Material Lab certification for the building, and learning all about healthy materials. It's phenomenal knowledge you gain there, whether you're a designer, a professional in the trade, furnishing trade, an architect. It's phenomenal. Just a builder, enroll. Phenomenal online course, or with the Sustainable Furnishing Council, become a green app. There is also a Green Leaders Accredited Professional Certificate. There's more, but I'm just going to stop here. But this is there is so much opportunities out there.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk with us today and give us a lot more insight onto this, I guess, growing interest within sustainability. It's really great to be able to see the concept of sustainability kind of further grow out into these new channels. And the circular economy is definitely something that, just talking about how we were both at KBIS, it definitely does seem like this is something that a lot of people are placing a big focus on now. And so being able to talk to clients about that and kind of, get the word out there about it is really important, especially as you say, the Gen Z, the Generation Z folk are definitely some of the most educated people out there right now when it comes to being able to just look up anything on their phone at a moment's notice. And so I think it's, it's less about, I guess from this conversation that we've had, it just maybe when I described education as a key point, I think it's about being able to have a conversation with the clients in this scenario.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's very important. As you say, conversation. It's not about forcing someone else, forcing oneself opinion. It's just an educational conversation, and there's true interest. We all want to feel well. We all want to address this climate change crisis. This resources on our planet are scarce. They're not infinite. They are finite. And then the sooner we address that, the better. And there is so much. So many new discoveries on how to make material out there. So it's healthy, renewable, regenerative material is a fascinating topic. The more you learn, the more you want to be part of a solution.
Well, once again, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have the best rest of your day.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful being here. Thank you for having me.